Asian Math Quest is a simple Unity 3D project, and it's a mathematical education game. First, we click New Math Quiz, give a name Math Quiz, and create project. And then first click Create Object and Cube for making ground, and we set the scale to 20:120. Then we set the view, then we wait, and we set the view so we can see all the ground without, and click left at mouse. Change the name of the cube to the ground name. Okay, and then we set the main camera to so we can see all the ground at the game view, and we rotate at the red line. Okay, it's great. And create a cube again to create a wall, so we rename it wall with a position 111, and scale set to 0.5 to and 30.5. Okay, and create the duplicate of the wall. Click the right click mouse and duplicate the wall, but the position we set position first wall x10 and the second wall is -10. Duplicate again the wall, set the z position to 10, and the scale we change the x and z scale and change the position x to 0, and duplicate that wall and set the z position to -10. And then we create the grouping for wall. We can create empty, and the game object we change to walls, and all the walls we block and put it on the walls. Then we will create the character with sphere. We take it up to see the wall and set the position of x and z to 0, 0. And we change the sphere name with player and click the add component to found rigid body, so we could use gravity to the player. And add project, we click right click and create the material. It's for coloring the ground. We rename it first ground and set the color to blue or any color you want. And with long click, left click, put it on the ground, and the color is changed automatically. So we will set the player script, so we must save it first. This scene, save or Control plus S with Math Quest name, and we found this Math Quest scene at this project. We will create the CSF script for a player. We'll name player controller, and this is the code, the automatic code from the Unity, and we edit it. I use Sublime for editing the code, and we just copy this code to the player controller, and there is the public and private type for variable. Explain later. And in the void start, we add RB, and add fixed update. We add the fixed word. We copy this code. Okay, with fixed update name of function. And this is the code what we get in the Unity feature, and save it with Ctrl+S. That public speed, we can find it at the player, and at the player we click long press left click mouse, and we can find speed, and we can set the value of the speed because it's public, and different with private, right, like rigid body. When we play it, it's move with the coordinate move too. Okay, so that's all for this video. We discuss about how to make a ground wall player, how to use gravity, and the player controller.